Okay, good. So today I found out what the question was that was to be answered, and the question was the sweeping away of the sword, or the smacking down of the sword. So here's Pam, and hiki, otoshi, uchi is right here. And the idea is to sweep the sword away. So that's what we're going to talk about today, or right now. So hiki, otoshi, uchi, we practice mostly from the hiki, otoshi, uchi position. So bring your foot forward. At the same time, reach, grab with the left hand, bring the left hand up, change the bottom hand down. The key here is to touch the thigh with the bottom hand. If you have a magnificent rocky thing on the front here, this is the one that touches. This one can stay out. It's the front nipple. Don't try to close this. When you swing from here, the upper body is in mahami, which is here. But if you have stepped forward and you turn, you'll see that the lower body, the hips are not quite all the way to mahami, but the upper body is. Bring the stick upwards. Bring it up. If you turn and start, you're going to hurt your shoulder. So bring the stick up at the same time as it's moving forward. Square the hips and strike down through keisa giri. This keisa angle. So if you do the eye, keisa is here. It's down the line of the string, the line of the clothing there. So here's Pam, and we'll put the slight angle, okay? So here's Pam. There's her hands there, right off of the center of her body here, more or less. So she's moving her hands here. So let's say they're between the belly button and the solar plexus, somewhere in there. If I do keisa, which is shoulder to hip, then the jo actually moves through the solar plexus. And as it moves through the solar plexus, you're going to hit her on the hands. So while that's not a bad thing on the street, it's not a good thing to do to your partner to practice with. So what we're going to do is we're going to do keisa giri, not on that angle, but through the face, right here. Now the stick is up, and it's there, and if I do keisa giri on that angle through the face, you can see that I hit the sword right at this point here, when I'm about halfway through. So that is what knocks the sword down and away. It's the angle that knocks it away. It's not power. So we're not smacking it away. Okay? We're just moving down through that point. So when she is at that point, and I'm in hiki, otoshi, uchi, that's the strength. A practice which you can do with each other for hiki, otoshi, uchi is to come here, come back.
Peek.
Eight.
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 Okay? You can do this very quietly. Whoops. I'll try to be more quiet. I'm not going to get quiet today. There. You can do it. That's why I'm not quiet, because you're twitching. Twitch. There. So, if your partner moves the sword away, then of course you're going to make a lot of noise. Partner, just keep the sword in the center so that the jo hits and moves on top. This is how we're doing it. The foot changes body changes, everything's here. Now, if I finish this move here, you can see that the left hand is off of the left hip. But if I move so that my hip is square to the camera, you'll see that my hand is in the center of my hip. Because my hips are at that angle, the center of my hip makes it here. So as I come through, my hand is going to be in the center of my body, but from the front, it's going to look like my hand is off of the left hip, which it is. So this is where you finish. From here down at the knee. Now, there's a lot of different ways to hit the jaw, to hit it down. So coming over top, hitting here, and ending up on that side of the oto. So that feeling. There are other ways to do it. You can strike it away this way and keep the tip up. In that case, you're coming here and you're sinking down in. Many different teachers teach many different things. That's not what I do. I simply turn and come through. If the sword is far away, try not to make a deep step, because if you do that, it's a dead giveaway of what's going on. Not a good thing. Instead, the other thing you don't want to do is you don't want to lean in. The reason why you don't want to lean in is that if somebody is bright and has seen this stuff before, it's not that hard to move the sword. You don't have to move it very far, actually. There it is. Okay? You just have to move it sideways about 2 inches, and then Joe will miss. Instead, get there by rocking the body forward. Make up that little distance by rocking in. Try not to step, but from here, in this position here, rock forward. If you miss, it's awfully handy to be able to come back the other way. How far do you actually have to smack the sword away? That's a long way. How about that? I don't need to move the sword any more than that. Okay, so it misses me. That's all I need. So, come back with me. So, don't need much. Okay, what else was I going to say? Angle. This angle. That's the angle. Okay, so make sure you hit the angle. You don't need any power. Just make sure that you got the angle. I have 2 thumbs holding this thing right now. That's it, 2 thumbs. No problem. Okay, now, close the left hand. No problem. Close the right hand. Little shibori. Just pinch a little bit. No problem. Make sure you're dropping yourself. Your arms. Now, add the hips. Drop in with the hips. Don't pull the stick back. Don't practice the way I'm practicing now, because it encourages pulling the stick back. Go all the way back, all the time. What that does is that encourages the stick to move that way, and not that way. So, that way. So move past the shoulder. Go past. Go past. Okay. I think that's about it. That'll take you a long way for practicing. Now, Honte uchi. From here, Honte no kamae, Honte uchi. Here, here. Honte uchi can be used for, can be used for snap the sword. Okay? Okay, we're going to do that over here, where the mirrors are not. So Honte uchi is just the same as hiki otoshi uchi, only from here we've gone back to here. So it's not this, it's this, but it's the same. So, Honte uchi, hiki otoshi uchi, same. Gyakute uchi. From here, we do this. We don't do Honte uchi very much. You don't see Honte uchi as Honte uchi as a moving the sword aside very much. You do see Gyakute uchi. So from here, same thing. Make sure that you get that angle. Don't come in from the side. It's very easy. So back, sword, or the jo comes up, backhand comes up, and then come down through the face in the kesa angle. That's all you need to do. So that's 1, 2, 3. 4, kaishitsuki. 5, gyakutsuki. Nothing. 6 is maki otoshi. So, maki otoshi. She has cut for my head. I have moved back and caught here. Now, this is the same thing. It's kesa. It's the kesa angle. But in this case, just treat the jo as if you're cutting with the sword. Down. The grip for the jo and the grip for the sword is the same. So from here, kesa down there. The kesa is in this case. The kesa in this case is on this angle over here, because I'm already here. So, yeah, it's down there. Okay. So from here, think of it as there's two parts. 1, 2. Just cutting straight down. So when you're catching, do that all together. Throw the left hand forward, comes down. If you want to stick it in their foot, and by the way, all of these things are intended to put the sword in the foot. And the way you do that is you guide it on the other side. So from here, as you're coming over, just kick it back in again. So this is the easiest place to see this, maki otoshi. It's a winding drop. It doesn't mean you're doing this. It means you come down to there and you wind back with the hips. So that's straight down. That comes back with the hip. So it ends up coming back into the foot. Don't do that. Just straight down there. So that's maki otoshi. Maki otoshi, and then we have kuritsuke, kurinashi, taitari, kurihanashi. From here, it's also the same kind of thing. If you've got it on the sword, it's the same sort of a movement. You can kind of flick it across like that. So you can sort of think of this as another way of moving things with the jo. Brushing the sword aside. So that's kurihanashi. Taitari. Next one is tsuki hazushi uchi. So from here, we're here. Now in this case, this stays at solar plexus height. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to cut across the exact angle of Kesagiri here. It's still Kesagiri angle, but when we come here, we move here, we're going to come down through the Kesagiri angle. So we're not going to cut through the face. We're not going to cut through the face, because if we did that, we'd miss the sword completely. We're going to come here, here, and then down through that Kesa angle. Now the nasty thing for this one, for somebody who's got the sword in their hand, is that they really can't do anything. It's down here. So it's just it just hits on top. When you're here, that angle hits right there, comes right down, and comes very close to that foot. So from here, here, you'll see that this is 4, 6, okay? You're here. Don't slide this right hand, just bring it up so you're in this position here. At that point, I have my angle. Here's my hand in front. Okay, I'm on this side of the sword. So from here to here, I'm on a good angle. All I have to do is let that drop. Okay? Let it drop. So here, as it drops, I slide the hand from there down to 1/4. Again, down to the knee, and then back in. So for the whole thing then, in here, change, down, and in. Dobra uchi. Let's go this angle. So dobra uchi from here. Again, I talked about this in the earlier one. She's coming in here, I'm coming out here. She's going to meet her there. At this point, when I come back, do not do Kesa angle. If you do a Kesa angle there, you're going to hit her on the foot. Guaranteed, sooner or later, you're going to hit her on the foot. And a lot of people hit that at Kesa. This is the exception. We do not hit this at Kesa. We hit this straight down, so she has some chance of getting away. If we hit that at that angle there, it's going to come past or into her foot. So don't hit it there. It's a nasty, nasty angle, because she's at that point, and as I'm coming in, if I come in at that angle, I get to use the curve of the blade as well. There's just no chance. It's coming into a bad angle on her hands and everything else. So from here, here, just for pity's sake, wherever you make contact with the stick, with the sword, that's where you hit, right there. And you're giving her a chance to move back. Pull that foot, please. Okay? So from here, you pull the foot, and then she has to move the foot again. So when you're practicing partners, don't just come slamming into her face. Tai is uchi. So from here, she comes in, she hits me on the head here. I back up to here, I come here, and she stops at face height. In this case, my angle of Kesa is above her head. The angle of Kesa is going to be halfway is where that sword's going to be. So I come here I mean here. Now, at this point, I'm too close. What happens usually is people do this and come down and try to do this. So at this point here, people try to hit it, and then they step back. You can see that the only way I can hit it is to drop my arm. That's a terrible thing to do. Here I am, there she is. I drop this arm, she's got her sword right there, you know, without poking me in the face, which she could do at any time. She's got this. So instead of that, from here, here, instead of that, you really kind of want to keep moving back. And then you're going to hit down from this point here halfway back. So leave this hand up here, come right straight front, kneel down, stick your sword up. So there's the sword, here's me. This hand is on this side of the sword, so that's my angle right there. My angle comes from here. If I drop this down, then I get this kind of thing going on here that is no good. So, think about this. This is a good example of just think about what's happening here. I come here and here. She's there. She comes down. She's 6 inches off my face here, and I'm messing about here. I'm still standing here. What's she got to do to kill me? Step forward another 6 inches. Well, okay, I kind of want to keep moving back. So if we work this through, what's the actual thing without... No, come back. There. Okay? The actual way to move this through from here... Sorry, you should be up in the crosswalk. Okay? And then I come here. Okay? Now from here, what I really want to be doing is this. Because what she's going to do is what? She's going to stab me. So what I want to do, we put those two things together. That's what we're ending up with. Okay? That's too dangerous to practice. Okay, she's in hustle, I'm here. She cuts in. I come back, I'm coming back. And at the same time as I'm coming back, she's thrusting in towards me. All right? Let's do that again. From here, go properly. There, you go there. Now I go here. In. So, and I'm having to drop my left hand. And the reason I have to drop my left hand is because she's keeping the distance to my face. So, I don't know how to answer that one, guys. I guess I'd start, but in fact, I've got to get that down. I don't know. Anyway, so that's going through the kihon with the smacking the sword away, some various ways to do the smacking of the sword away, the hiki, otoshi, uchi, and some things to consider with the other kihon, how that movement is modified somewhat, but it's the same movement. It's always the same angle. It's always this angle coming down through here, or coming down through there, of course, depending on which kihon you're doing, except for doburai uchi, where we do not do the angle because it's just too nasty and dangerous. I hope that helps some, and I wait for the next question. Thank you very much. Anytime, Richard.